Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I am really excited to bring you a video that is focused on one specific ingredient, and I actually use this ingredient a lot in my gluten-free baking. Today we are talking all about how to use quinoa flour, and I'm going to show you 3 different ways for using quinoa flour. I know that it can be a little bit pricey, but I honestly think that this should be a staple in every gluten-free pantry because it's so awesome. I actually created an entire tutorial / 101 post on the blog that really breaks down how to use quinoa flour in your baking. We talk about how to toast it, we talk about how to make it taste good, we talk about how to store it, we talk about why it's a great ingredient to use in gluten-free baking, and I'm also giving you, I think, 11 different ways to use it, which includes 50 different recipes. So there's literally basically everything that you need to know about quinoa flour in that post. So if you're interested in learning more, definitely check that out. But today we are going to be sharing 3 specific recipes that really focus around this awesome ingredient. I personally love quinoa flour. It's probably one of my favorite flours to bake with, and I think it just has a really great texture, a really great flavor, and it's really versatile. I also just want to quickly pause before we dive in and welcome any new people who are just now joining us on this channel and encourage you to subscribe if you are not yet a subscriber. There's a red button right below this video that says subscribe. You can just tap that button and that will subscribe you. And there are 2 new videos every single week, so there's always a ton of new content coming out, which you can enjoy. And of course, there's hundreds of videos in the archive for you to binge watch. Otherwise, let's go ahead and dive into our recipes for today. So we are going to start by making some cheesy kale and quinoa crackers. We're going to start by adding quinoa flour into a food processor, followed by some sorghum flour. To that, we're also going to add some psyllium husk powder, some nutritional yeast, and some sea salt, and you'll just pulse that all together until it's combined. Remove the lid of your food processor, add in your chopped up kale, and then pulse that together. From there, just leave the food processor running, and you'll stream in some olive oil and some water, and this will form a kind of thick, sticky dough. Then you can just sprinkle your surface with a little bit of quinoa flour and knead it all together until it has come together into a pliable dough. From there, divide it into 4 pieces, roll each piece into a little ball, and then you can just cover it with parchment paper and use a rolling pin to roll it out as thin as possible. Then you will remove that parchment paper, and you'll basically just take this and put it onto a baking sheet. And then you will repeat with the rest of the dough and layer it on baking sheets as you want. Once you have it on the baking sheets, you can place this in a 425-degree oven for about 5 minutes. Remove it, flip it over, cook it for another 5 minutes or so, and then you are actually going to just turn the oven off, and you'll let the oven sit for about 1 to 2 hours to really help crisp up the crackers. This really helps get them super, super crispy. So once they've sat and they've cooled and they've crisped up, that's all you got to do. From here, we are just going to break them apart. I just kind of don't even use any rhyme or reason. I just break them apart however makes sense. I kind of like that they are a rough looking, that they're not like these standard crackers. And yeah, you just break them up into little pieces and those are your crackers. You can store these in a stasher bag or in a container, whatever you want. They will keep for at least 1 week on the counter. And I love serving them as a snack with hummus. It's my favorite thing ever. Our next recipe is going to be our quinoa flour pizza crust. You guys have been waiting for this for a long time, so I'm excited to finally share it. The first ingredient, of course, is quinoa flour. Then we're going to add in some psyllium husk powder again, some baking powder, and some sea salt, and you will stir that all together until it is combined. Then you will add your water, and again, you're going to stir this together until a thick dough forms. And this is going to be pretty sticky. So once you have your dough formed, just line a baking pan with parchment paper and then transfer the dough into the middle of the paper and use wet hands to spread the dough out into a pizza shape. And again, it's going to be sticky, so having wet hands is really going to help you push it into the corners and spread it out. Then you can just bake this according to the instructions that are in the description box, and it will get nice and crispy. You might want to flip it over once if you want it to get super, super crispy, but I find that it cooks up just fine. And then you can go ahead and top it with your toppings. So today we're gonna use some tomato sauce, do a little layer of vegan cheese, and then I did some sliced up leeks, some chopped up broccoli, some artichoke hearts, and a little bit more vegan cheese. And then I popped this back in the oven for about 15 minutes to let everything cook, and it is incredible. This is probably one of my favorite pizza toppings combinations that I've ever created. It was so good and perfect for spring. So just let your pizza cool for about 5 minutes, and then you can just slice it into your triangles. And this is such a yummy crust. It really is sturdy, it's crispy, it has a great flavor, and I think you guys are gonna love it. And plus it doesn't require soaking, which is really awesome. Our final recipe with quinoa flour is quinoa flour tortillas. So we're gonna start with some quinoa flour, followed by some chickpea flour, more psyllium husk powder, some sea salt, and that's it. Give it a quick stir to combine, and then you're gonna pour in your water. And just like the crust, we're gonna stir this together, but this is gonna be a pretty thick dough, kind of like the crackers. So just continue to stir until it all comes together. And then you can remove about a golf ball sized piece with your hands and kind of shape it into a ball, and then flatten it into a little disc like this. From there, just put that little ball in between 2 pieces of parchment paper and gently flatten it down, and then roll it out to create a tortilla. And basically just roll it into a circle or whatever close to a circle that you can make. And then remove the top layer of the parchment paper. It is gonna be sticky, but that's okay. And then what you'll do is take that piece of parchment paper that has the tortilla on it and flip the tortilla side down into an oiled skillet, and just push it down into like the corners, the edges, and let it cook for about 15 seconds or so. And as it cooks, the parchment paper will be you can easily take it off. So you can use a fork if you want, but basically just peel the parchment paper away as the tortilla cooks, and you don't have to worry about stickage. So you'll cook these about a minute per side until they are golden brown, and I like to kind of push them down so you get those really nice browned parts. But that's all you've got to do. Then you can just return these to a wire rack and let them cool. And I just want to show you the texture because this is so yummy. They are so pliable. They are really, really delicious and great for tacos or rolls or wraps or whatever you want. And there you have it, my friends. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial all about quinoa flour. This is honestly, like I said earlier, one of my favorite flours to bake with. I can't recommend it enough. I will link my favorite one down below for you. And I just really encourage you to pick up a bag and start experimenting with it because it is so great and it's really nutrient dense, which is amazing. Of course, I've also linked that tutorial blog post that I mentioned down in the description box, as well as the 3 recipes that we made in today's video. And like I said, that tutorial post includes I think about 50, if not more, recipes that have been created on the blog and then are interlinked in that post. So if one of these 3 recipes is not your jam, there is plenty to choose from in that post. So everything you need is down in the description box, as it usually is. I also just want to thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you guys tuning in on a weekly basis. It makes me so happy, and I love getting all of your feedback and knowing that these videos are helping you live a healthier life and make healthy, delicious food at home. If you are not yet part of our tribe here on YouTube, there's a red button right below this video. It says subscribe. Just tap that button and that will make you a member of this awesome community. I am here every Tuesday and Friday sharing new video content. Tuesdays are dedicated to recipes. Fridays are kind of whatever I'm feeling like. Sometimes it's food, sometimes it's lifestyle, sometimes it's what I eat in a day vlog style videos. But either way, there's tons of videos to choose from in the archives for you to watch, and there's also just tons of new content coming your way every single week. So definitely encourage you to subscribe if you are not yet already. And if you did enjoy today's video, please give it a thumbs up. That just helps more people find it, which is always beneficial to all of us. And I also would encourage you to use the comment box as you need. If you have questions, suggestions, And also if there are any other ingredient profiles that you want me to create, so whether it's another flour or there's another ingredient that you're just like have questions about or you want to know more about, definitely leave those down in the comments, because I'm always trying to create new lists and video topics to make for you guys, and I want to make what you want. So thank you so much for being here again. I really appreciate it, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.